welcome to yoga, everyone. I am Delia. We are going to start seated today. We're going to do a nice practice for the neck, the shoulders, and the back body. So come into your comfortable seat. I'm going to sit up on a bolster. I have some tightness in the low back. So if you're the same, if you get tightness or pinching, any pain in the low back, please sit up on something, a pillow, a folded towel or blanket or a bolster, just to tilt the pelvis, help take some of the pressure off the low back. And then when you arrive in your seat, go ahead and take any little movements that you might need, rotating the wrists, maybe just turning the head gently from side to side, or nodding up and down. Maybe a couple of shoulder rolls. If you're ready to settle right into stillness, you can feel free to do that. I always like to find a little bit of movement before settling, just kind of arriving in the space with my body. Maybe even swaying a little bit. We're going to be sitting a lot today, so it's actually kind of important to find that tall, upright seat. So maybe swaying a little forward and back, side to side, just kind of noticing. We do this a lot standing, but noticing where you distribute the weight when you're seated. So sometimes people have a tendency to lean a little forward or a little too far back or one side or the other. So just kind of feeling where your weight is on your sit bones. See if you can even it out. See if you can sit up nice and tall. And then let's just squeeze the shoulders up to the ears and roll them down the back. 2 more times. Squeeze the shoulders up to the ears and let them roll down the back. And last time, squeeze them up and let them roll down the back. And this time, let them settle there. And now go ahead and close your eyes or soften your gaze, finding some stillness. And beginning to draw your attention inward. Noticing the quality of your breath today. Maybe the breath is feeling nice and smooth already. Maybe it's feeling a little short or choppy. See if you can begin to smooth out the breath, to deepen each inhale and exhale. Drawing the breath in through the nose and all the way down into the belly. And using each inhale to fill the body with space, feeling that gentle lift in the heart, in the belly, in the spine. Using the exhales to help you settle and ground even more into what you're sitting on. And using the exhales to help you relax any clenching, any tightening in the body that you might notice. And taking a moment here while you're deepening the breath, maybe to set an intention or a dedication for your practice. It can be as simple as one word, or it can be much more complicated. It's up to you. And go ahead and take 3 more deep, full belly breaths here. And then begin to find some gentle movement in the fingers, maybe wiggling the toes. And when you're ready, eyes can remain closed or they can open. Go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest, keeping those shoulder blades down the back, feeling that nice stretch in the back of the neck. And then you can just begin to trace the collarbones with the chin here, or you can start to roll one ear towards one shoulder. So moving really slowly. And then rolling the chin through center and rolling the opposite ear over the opposite shoulder. So moving really slowly with control, remembering to breathe. If you're moving the ears over the shoulders and through center, you can find a little bit of a lift, a little backwards tilt of the head as you go to the shoulder if you want, only if that's comfortable on the neck. And give it one more round on each side. And then go ahead and lift the chin back up to neutral, so centered. Go ahead and open the eyes if they're closed. And let's take the right arm across the chest. I'm going to try not to hit my microphone. I do every time. So you can have as much of a bend in that right elbow as you'd like. You can even take the right hand to the back of the right shoulder and hold across. So just opening that shoulder gently. And give it one more breath here. And then slowly release that right arm. Let's do the same with the left. So either drawing that left arm across the chest, you can bend the elbow if you need to, or you can reach that left hand for the right shoulder. Breathing steadily here, opening space into the back of that shoulder. And then slowly release. So if you're seated, go ahead and, if you're seated cross-legged, go ahead and make sure that the right foot is in front. So switch if you need to. We're going to do both sides. So let's go ahead and reach the left hand out on your mat and sweep the right hand up. So we're coming into our side bend. Make sure that that right hip is staying down, right glute is touching whatever you're sitting on. And then we're going to move a little bit here. So on your inhale, open the chest, open that right shoulder back, and exhale, rounding down towards the floor. And inhale to open, and exhale to round. One more time. Inhale to open, and exhale to round. And then inhale, come back up to center, reach that right arm nice and tall. And exhale, we're going to come into our twist. So twisting to the left. Left hand comes behind you. You can also take it to the low back. Right hand is on the left leg somewhere. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Imagining drawing that left shoulder back a little bit more. And then slowly come back to center. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. So maybe sway a little bit here, side to side. Maybe shake your head a little, yes and no. And let the head and neck go. Breathing into the back of the hip, the low back. Give it one more breath here. And then slowly draw the belly button in. Start to walk your hands back, using that to help press you up. We're going to take the other side. I just realized I had the wrong foot in front. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you have the opposite foot. If you ever get tired of sitting up on something like I just did, go ahead and move it aside whenever you want. So opposite foot in front, left foot or right foot, depending on if you did it opposite of what I said. So we're going to reach the right hand out in front now. And we're going to take our side bend over to the right. So left hand sweeps up and over. And on your inhale, we're going to open the chest, draw that left shoulder back. And exhale, rounding down towards the floor. And inhale to open. If it's too much on the neck to look up, keep your neck neutral. And exhale, rounding down. One more time. Inhale to open. And exhale to round. And inhale, let's sit up nice and tall. Reach that left hand towards the ceiling. Exhale, come into your twist to the right. Right hand behind the hip or to the low back. Sitting up nice and tall here. Make sure you're not dumping all the weight into that back hand. Use your core to help you lift. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, find your fold. And again, maybe find a little sway here. Notice the difference. Maybe one hip's a little tighter than the other. A really gentle way to begin to work into the low back, into the hips. Maybe shake your head gently, yes and no. Give it one more breath. And then use your hands to help you press yourself up, walk yourself back. And we're going to come into table. So take your time, grab any props that you need. Oops, I gotta do a quick mic adjustment. Sorry about that. Okay, that should be all right. So coming into your table, go ahead and take any blankets or pillows or yoga pads that you need under the wrists or the knees. And from our table, let's just go ahead and bump the hips to the left, look over your right shoulder. And then come back to center, bump the hips right, look over the left shoulder. Let's do that one more time. Come back to center. Inhale here, exhale, hips go left, look over the right shoulder. And inhale to center, exhale other way. And come back to center. And let's come into child's pose. So whichever version of child's pose is comfortable for you, you can take a wide-legged child's pose. Your knees can be closer together. Arms can be in front of you or they can be back by the feet. If your shoulders are feeling extra tight today, bend your elbows more, take them out to the edges of your mat. So widen your arms. You can take a block under the forehead. If puppy pose is more comfortable for you, you have knee problems or low back pain today, maybe keep the hips a little more lifted. And just feel your body relax, release, and surrender into the mat here. And breathing into the back and the side body as much as into the belly. Maybe even rocking your forehead a little side to side here. And getting a little forehead massage on the mat. And if you're moving the head, go ahead and find stillness in the center. And if it feels good, we're going to walk our hands over to the right side of our mat. And sometimes I have you put the left hand on top. I'm going to have you reach the left hand a little bit past the right hand today. And then settle down into your stretch. So just opening that left side body more. Relaxing the head. And then nice and slow, walk the hands through center over to the left. And if it's comfortable for you, right hand's going to reach a little bit past that left hand. Breathing into the right side of the rib cage. And let your face and head soften. And then go ahead and walk the hands back to center. And we're going to do our drunken cat-cow from here. So if your knees are far apart, go ahead and bring them a little bit closer. And on the inhale, we're going to round forward. Doesn't matter which way, we're going to reverse, dropping the belly, opening the heart, and then exhaling, rounding back, sitting the hips towards the heels. So making a big circle here, moving with your own breath. If this is not a comfortable cat-cow for you, go ahead and find any other version that feels better. Let's take one more in this direction and then we'll switch. And whenever you're ready, reversing the direction of your circle. Two more times. And last round. And then let's go ahead and press up onto into our table again. And we're going to come down onto our belly. So I'm going to turn so you can see my head and shoulders a little bit better. So take your time lowering down onto your belly. And when you arrive, make sure that the hands are underneath the shoulders so they're tucked in towards your rib cage. You're pressing the hips down so you're lengthening the low back. Press the feet down and release your forehead to the mat. We're going to do some baby cobra rolls from here. So press the pelvic bone into the mat. Draw the shoulder blades together and inhale, rolling up through the spine. Just a little bit, lifting the forehead, maybe a little bit of the chest. Exhale, rolling down. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, rolling up, elbows draw back towards your feet. And exhale, rolling down. Two more times. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Last one. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, rolling down. This time we're going to roll up and we're going to hold here. Doesn't have to be a big lift. And then you can play with lifting one foot off the ground and then maybe switching. Or you can lift both feet. So shoulders and elbows are still drawing down away from the ears, holding here. Sending energy out through the toes. Take one more breath. And exhale, release. Release onto your right ear. Send the arms back by your sides. Just let everything go. 3 deep breaths into the low back. And then return your forehead to center. Take the hands underneath the shoulders again. And it's your choice. You can stay here. We're going to do another variation of locust. So you can roll up into your baby cobra. And you can play with lifting the feet again, one at a time or both. And if you'd like, you can keep the hands where they are and just play with lifting them as well. Or you can take them back behind you, palms facing down now. Hugging the shoulder blades together, reaching for your toes. Take one more breath, maybe lift a little higher. And exhale, release. Release onto the left ear, arms back by your sides. 3 deep breaths here. And then take your forehead back to center. Hands come under the shoulders one more time. And we're just going to use them to press ourselves up and back. Coming back into our table. So from table, we're going to thread the needle here. So keep your left hand planted. Inhale, right hand reaches. And exhale, send it under the bridge of the left arm, releasing your head to the floor or to a block if the floor is far away. Left elbow can stay bent with the left hand by the head, or you can extend that arm towards the top of your mat. Breathing wherever you are. See if you can keep your hips over your knees here. So notice if your hips are tilting one way or the other. See if you can relax your neck. Give it one more deep breath wherever you are. And then release that left hand to the mat if it was lifted, or draw it back. And when you're ready, start to press back and up. And we'll take the other side. So right hand stays planted this time. Inhale, left fingertips reach. And exhale, thread the needle. And again, taking your time to get comfortable here. You can keep that right hand by the face. You can send it forward. You can even reach it up towards the ceiling or the low back. Trying to sit your hips back just a little, keeping them over your knees. Give it one more breath wherever you are. And then release that right hand to the mat if it was lifted, or draw it back. Use it to help you press back up and unwind. Coming back to table. And then take a moment to grab your blocks. So I'm going to turn back around again, grab my blocks. You may not want them. If you know that you like coming into puppy pose just normally, you can. I'm going to come into puppy pose on my blocks because it's a deeper shoulder opening. So take your knees hip distance apart, and you may have to make some adjustments here. So you can just come into puppy pose the regular way. Hips are over the knees. You can just rest the elbows on the blocks. And then if you'd like, you can lift the hands, walk the elbows a little bit forward, and take this little reverse namaste over the top of the head. So this is a deeper opening for the shoulders. You may have to make adjustments of where the blocks are placed. Go ahead if you need to. If this is too much, you can just come into child's pose or just regular puppy pose without the blocks. Deep, full breaths here. Give it one more. And then go ahead and slowly release the hands. Take your time here to walk yourself back up. It can be kind of awkward while you're on the blocks. Take your time. And go ahead and set the blocks aside. So we're coming into table again. I'm going to face you. We're going to be working with the right foot. So if you need to pad that left knee, go ahead. And then take that right foot out to the side with the knee bent. So right heel should be roughly in line with that left knee. And then go ahead and walk the hands back. And we're coming up. So again, if there's too much pressure in that left knee, please go ahead and pad it. I'm going to make a little adjustment here. And if you feel more stable by curling the left toes under behind you, you can. So from here, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, grab hold of that right wrist and gently draw it back. So think about opening your heart towards the ceiling. And then slowly come up, release that right forearm to the thigh. And you can just open from here by drawing that left shoulder back. Or if you want to take the arm, go ahead and take it up and over. And then slowly release. And let's release our hands down in front. And we're going to walk them over to the right. So you can scoot that right foot a little bit back from your hands. That's going to give you a little more space in the hip. So the hand this from my right foot, this one, I'm going to keep it planted on the floor. My right hand is going to lift as I twist my chest towards that right knee. Give it one more breath. And then slowly release. Walk the hands back to center. Go ahead and release that right knee. Take the knees together, big toes together. And let's just drop the hips over to the right, look over the left shoulder. And back to center. Drop the hips left, look over the right shoulder. And back to center. Let's take the other side. So pad that right knee if you need to. We're taking the left foot out to the side. And then we're walking ourselves up. Make any adjustments you need to. You never need to come into a pose and just hold it. So when you're ready, press into that left foot a little. Inhale, reach the arms up. Grab hold of that left wrist and gently draw back. Think about lifting the heart a little bit so you're rotating a little bit open towards the ceiling. And then let go of that left wrist. Take the left forearm to the thigh. And if you'd like, right hand can come to the hip. You can just open from here, rotating the chest towards the right. Or you can lift that right arm up and over, press the right hip a little bit forward. And then slowly release. Release the hands down in front. We're going to walk them over to the left. You can walk that left foot a little bit further away, give you some space in the hips. So my right hand is the hand furthest from my foot. It's going to stay planted. And on the inhale, left fingertips reach. You're rotating the chest backwards towards the thigh. Deep, deep breaths. And slowly release. Walk the hands back to center. Go ahead and release that left knee. Take the knees together, toes together again. And we're going to drop our hips right, look over the left shoulder. And this time, if you'd like, you can lift that left knee about an inch or two off the mat. And come back to center. Other way, drop the hips left, look over the right shoulder. If you want, you can lift that right knee just a little. And come back to center. Let's go ahead and take a seat. So if you need to sit up on something, please go ahead and grab it. A pillow, a bolster, a blanket, or folded towel. And also grab your strap. So we're coming to our comfortable seat. And then to start, let's just take our right hand to our right shoulder. So we're bending at the elbow. And then maybe just holding on behind the right arm. So at the right tricep. You can stay here. You're kind of gently pressing that elbow back, or you can reach the hand up and over and use the fingers on the right elbow and just gently pull it back. So if you find that this arm over your head, the left arm over your head, is causing you to kind of squish up and together here in the shoulder area, go ahead and bring the hand back. You really don't want to be tensing up the shoulders at all if you can. So breathing here. Notice if your low back has started to hyperextend. So if it's started to sway and you're pressing in the chest forward, see if you can drop the tailbone back, hug the upper ribs in. Deep breaths. This can be very intense. Take one more breath here. And then maybe staying here. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, we're going to take our cow face arms. So you can release the hands for a moment and grab your strap. I like to loop the strap around my right hand. It kind of gives me something to hold on to. And then you're taking your right hand back to the right shoulder. So left hand reaches out and then behind you to grab the ends of the strap. So the closer your hands are together towards each other, the more intense this is going to be in the shoulders. So widen the hands if you need to. It doesn't matter how wide they are. You're still getting the same exact stretch. Ideally, you're trying to press that right elbow up towards the ceiling and lower the left one down towards the floor. And then notice again, if your chest has started to stick out, see if you can hug it back. Taking some deep breaths here. You can even close the eyes to feel the breath moving from the inside out. Give it one more deep breath. And then nice and slow, start to release that left hand, release the right. Set the strap aside for a moment and go ahead and take some shoulder rolls. And then reverse direction. And we'll take the other side. So this time we're going to take the left hand to the left shoulder. Left elbow is pointing straight up. And then you be the judge of where it's most comfortable for you. So right hand can come to the back of the arm and just gently press back here. Or it can come up and overhead, holding on to the elbow with the fingertips and gently pulling back just a little bit. Hugging those ribs in, dropping the tailbone down, and breathing. Feeling free to close the eyes whenever you'd like. Closing the eyes can sometimes help us focus more on the pose, on where we're placing our breath, and releasing more. Take one more breath right here. And then if you'd like, you can just stay here, or you can release, grab the strap, We're taking it into the left hand this time. You can loop it if you'd like. And you're reaching it back towards that left shoulder. I like to take my right arm out to the side first and then grab. It gives me a little more room in the shoulders. And each side is different. So this may be the side where your elbow is pointing more out and it's harder to get it up. That's okay. Just working towards that, taking the hands as close together or wide on the strap as feels good to you. And when you've found your comfortable position, breathing. Still sitting up nice and tall, hugging the low belly in. Give it one more deep, full breath wherever you are. And then slowly release the hands from the strap. Go ahead and set the strap aside. And let's take those shoulder circles. And reversing. We'll do one more seated neck stretch, and then we're going to take it down to the mat. So if you've been sitting with one leg in front of the other for a while, go ahead and switch. Reverse the cross of your legs. And then when you're ready, we're just going to drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. So still sitting up nice and tall here. And make sure that you're not tilting the chin down or up. It should be in the center. And then press that right shoulder down away from the ear. So you're reaching the right ear towards the right shoulder, pressing the right shoulder down. It's going to make your shoulders feel a little off balance. That's okay. And then if you'd like, go ahead and reach the left hand out. So my fingers are not touching the floor. My arm is very straight. I'm really reaching through those left fingertips, but I'm still keeping that hand pretty low. Breathing here. Reaching the right ear a little bit further towards the right shoulder. Make sure you're pressing that right shoulder down and away. Reach through the left fingertips. Take one more breath. And then slowly start to come back up. And again, maybe take a couple of shoulder rolls. And let's do the other side. So we're going to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder this time. Make sure the chin is in the center if you can. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And then when you're ready, drop that left shoulder, press it down actively. So I kind of think of it as like pulling that elbow down helps to pull the shoulder. Reaching the left ear towards that left side. And then when you're ready, extending the right arm out, straightening the arm as much as possible, really actively reaching through the fingertips. So still pressing the left ear over to the left, pressing that left shoulder down, reach through the right fingertips. One more breath. And then slowly release, coming back up. Take a couple more shoulder rolls if you need them. And we're going to come down onto our back. So go ahead and make sure you have any props that you might need for your Shavasana, moving aside any that you don't need. We're not going to be using any blocks or straps, so just whatever it is that you need to settle comfortably into your final pose after we are done. And when you're ready, making your way onto your back. And go ahead and take your feet as wide as your yoga mat and do some windshield wipers with the knees. And then hug the right knee into the chest. Maybe take a couple of ankle circles with that right foot. And then extend the left leg long down the mat and flex into that left foot. Press that thigh down. And then just open the right knee out to the right just a little bit. So breathing here. And then we're going to take our supine twist from here. So taking the right knee back to center. When you're ready, starting to draw it over to the left. That right hip is going to lift, so you're stacking the hips. Your arm can come. Give it one more breath. And then nice and slow, start to take that right knee back to center. And go ahead and release the right foot. Stretch both legs long and maybe reach the arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch here. And then we'll do the other side. So release the arms, go ahead and bend that left knee and hug it into the chest. You can bend the right knee if you'd like for this part. Maybe take some ankle circles. First one way and then the other. And then go ahead and straighten that right leg again. Flex the foot, press that thigh down, and open your left knee out to the left, just a little bit. Give it one more breath here. And then nice and slow, start to take that left knee across the body over to the right, coming into your supine twist. Left hip is lifting off the mat, left shoulder is staying on the mat. So you're just twisting from the lower body. Left arm can come out to the side, or you can bend at the elbow. Breathing into that left hip, the left side of the rib cage. Filling that space with the breath. And then nice and slow, start to take that left knee back to center. Go ahead and release that foot. Go ahead and extend that leg long down your mat. And we're going to take a banana stretch or a boomerang stretch. So walk both feet over to the left side of your mat. And then lift and scoot the head over to the left side as well. And if you'd like, you can take the arms up overhead. And you can even slowly draw back on that right hand. Breathing into the low back, feeling that space on the whole right side. See if you can fill the space with the breath all the way from the fingertips to the toes. And then slowly release the right wrist if you had hold of it. Go ahead and walk the feet back to the center. Move your head back to center. And we'll go over to the other side. So walk the feet to the right side of your mat. Go ahead and shift the head and the shoulders over to the right as well, as much as you'd like. Elbows can just be bent with the arms overhead, or you can reach the arms straight Maybe grab hold of that left wrist and gently pull over to the right. Breathing into that side body stretch. Give it one more breath. And then release the wrist if you were holding it. Go ahead and walk the feet back to center. Take the head back to center. You can release the arms. Make any adjustments you need or any final stretches before you come into your Shavasana. Maybe taking some windshield wipers or drawing the knees into the chest. And making sure that you are finding a comfortable position where you don't have to hold the body for your final resting pose. So maybe taking a bolster under the knees or a pillow under your head. And once you've found your final resting pose, hands can be on the belly or down by your sides, palms face up. Go ahead and allow the eyes to soften or to close. And let's all take a deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Deep, deep, full breath in. Long sigh out. One more time. Deepest breath you've taken all day. And exhale, let it go. Feel free to sigh a few more times if that's what the body needs. And gradually letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. And feeling your shoulders, your hips growing heavier, releasing into the mat. Arms and legs are soft and relaxed. Notice if you're holding or clenching in the belly. See if you can relax the torso. Feeling the chest soften and open. Feeling the whole back body heavy and supported. Your mat is reaching up to hold you here. Softening the space between the eyebrows. Across the forehead. Down into the temples and the jaw. See if you can release any tension you're holding in the face. Any last little lingering tightness or clenching in the body. And giving yourself the space and time to absorb your practice and release anything that's no longer serving you. slowly begin to bring your attention back to your breath. And beginning to deepen each inhale and lengthen each exhale. Feeling new energy begin to spread through the body, creating little movements in the fingers and toes, maybe the wrists and ankles, maybe taking a full body stretch if it's calling you, or drawing the knees into the chest. And whenever you're ready, bending the knees, making your way onto whichever side feels best. Using your top arm to gently press yourself back up, coming back to a comfortable seat. And sitting up nice and tall, allowing the eyes to soften or close once more when you arrive. And letting the shoulders slide down the back. And letting the muscles of the face soften and relax. And if it's comfortable, drawing the hands together at the heart. Sealing in your practice. Taking anything that served you off the mat into the rest of your day and week to come. And taking a moment of gratitude to yourself for making this time to be with your breath and your practice. And thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.